I remember doing the sexual assault kit at the hospital, and for me it was like all these years it sat there. What was the point of taking it then if you were just gonna wait and wait and wait?
As of today, you know, I still don't know what happened with my kit that I did, with my sexual assault exam. I just assumed that it was a process. You got your kit done, it's off for testing. There's probably a certain timeline for it, but for me, like just learning that there was even a backlog for people's kits that were from years.
So a sexual assault kit is a kit that evidence has been gathered from a survivor of sexual assault. So a specially trained nurse will give a health sort of examination of our victim's body. And during that time, we'll also gather evidence.
The first step is a police report, and then it's collecting evidence, and then is the district attorney, do they have enough evidence to charge a crime? A lot of times they're telling survivors it could be 6 months to a year before we get DNA results back. This isn't an episode of CSI that's going to be wrapped up in an hour. Like, this is going to take years.
There was this man that lived in the trailer court that I did. I kept noticing that he would be driving by my house. I just remember going to the door and this man was at the door with my kids, and I was thinking, okay, why is he here at my house now? And there was another gentleman with him, and he grabbed my sons and went to a vehicle, and the other gentleman was trying to get me into the house. He had taken me through the back door, and my room was close to there, and he had sexually assaulted me. I remember when he was done, I just kind of was like, my mission was my kids, and I ran out the door to the van, and all I could do was grab my kids and scoop them up and run. I got in my vehicle and ran to a friend's house, and her mother called the police.
I remember at one point of the night, I was just like, it's not safe for me to drive home tonight. So it's about a 25-minute drive. And so there was a regular at the bar that I knew, and he was like, I'll help get you somewhere safe tonight. I was like, perfect, thank you. I'm like, you can just take me to like a hotel, I'll pay for my hotel, and then I'll be good in the morning. I remember waking up the next morning at the hotel that I went to, and it was kind of a moment of panic because I'm like, wait, did that seriously just happen? But I knew I couldn't take a shower or anything because I was like, I think I do want to report this because this wasn't right. But just going through that process too was hard in itself because you have to expose yourself. You're vulnerable. You're getting pictures taken. You're getting swabs done.
In late 2014, if not very early 2015, I received a communication from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation with a request for some information. And the request started with wanting to know how many untested sexual assault kits that we had in our property and evidence inventory. Roughly 1,100, and I can confidently say 1,041. So there was a wall of boxes on shelves.
One of the reasons we didn't send the sexual assault kits to the lab to have processed is we figured, well, the suspect, most of these are acquaintance type of assaults, has been identified. So why go through with the processing? That was one of the many reasons that the sexual assault backlog is there. And those ended up building up in our back rooms. So that was flawed, not testing the kit because we knew who the person was, is because the DNA is very valuable for solving other crimes and tying these together.
After we delivered all of the kits to KBI. It didn't take long after that that results did start coming back. Many cases had no result. If I got a CODIS hit, then that case would be set aside for further review. If we found a case that we believed was viable for successful criminal prosecution, in all of those cases, we decided that we were going to contact the victim. We actually attempted 17 victim contacts in 16 cases. We were unable to locate 6 of the victims we tried to find. We were able to contact 8 that declined prosecution. 2 of those we still presented to the DA, and we charged 3.
Notifying 16 people out of 1,000 does not feel good. Now, let's even move those numbers around and say, okay, we have 207 CODIS hits. Notifying 16 out of 207 feels icky. Prosecution or not, victims deserve to know. I think we can talk about this backlog in a way that's numbers, and look, there's 700 here and there's 1,100 here. These are all people, and they've all been sexually assaulted in our community, all of them. And so I think as a community, we need to ask ourselves, where are we not helping? Because that's a lot of people.
I never really spoke about it to anybody, not in groups, not in therapy, not nothing. And I stayed hidden until the day I pulled in my driveway and went to my door and found a card. I had to contact the detective and say, well, I was sexually assaulted, I was raped, I'm calling because I think I'm supposed to call a detective. He said, yeah, it's from da-da-da-da. We went and did a back test kit, and I was like, oh, like, why now? What if I needed you to find that person and maybe potentially help other people also and stop this man? Why wait for me? Why wait for my DNA so long?
I think we could notify every survivor we can get a hold of in a way that is trauma-informed and is in a way that prioritizes their ongoing mental health and safety and support. I am still so concerned that WPD has the answer to who someone's rapist is, and they don't know. And that, to me, is, I would love it if they could assure me that that is not the case.
Are there cases like that where you guys know who someone's rapist was and they haven't been notified?
Yes. There are some cases where the victim may not know who the offender is, and they were identified in a CODIS hit.
WPD knowing who someone's rapist is and the victim not knowing, I think, is an egregious violation of someone's human rights. To safety, to, I have so many feelings about that. Imagine if that was your child. Like, your daughter goes to college and she's sexually assaulted, you know, every parent's fear, and the police department knows who this person is and she doesn't. Like, they deserve information. They deserve access to support. So let's give them that.
There was a belief that recontacting victims may cause additional trauma. It is worth future discussion and collaboration with everybody involved to try to come up with the best solution moving forward. We are open to looking at some of the cases again and deciding to make the notifications. I don't know what that process would look like, but we are open to that.
We have not made the system navigatable for survivors or victims of any types of crime. It works against them. I remember being trained at the very beginning that most of these cases were false and they were just making up what had happened to them. That's fed in generation over generation of law enforcement, prosecutors, and so on and so forth. And so we would go into these cases already doubting our victim. Trying to re-educate the system is really hard, and trying to move it just a little bit is extremely hard to do.
There is an increased importance on, first and foremost, testing all of the kits, and that's why we've gone to the 100% testing protocol. As a police agency, we want to try to do better. There has not been over the years a lot of guidance and support from anywhere on how to address these type of situations. One of the things that started in 2014, a month or two before I came into the DV sex crimes unit, was the creation of a coordinated community response team. We call it the CCR, and we discuss concerns and gaps in service or systemic issues that that exist within any of our organizations that we can try to fix or make better.
Our PD in the past few years has done a lot of trainings around trauma-informed interviewing, and I've seen big improvements. Is it perfect? No, but it's trending better.
I remember I had gotten a call from a number and I was like, I don't know who this is. So I stepped outside and I had missed it though, and it ended up being the detective that had called me, and he left me a voicemail. And it was just like, hey, we're not moving forward with your case. If you need support, reach out to WASAC. And I was just like dang, like you had to leave that in a voicemail. Like it just felt so I don't know, dismissive in a sense. I know that my case is closed. I know that it's not gonna go anywhere, but just to know that you still tested it, it's what I've been through that got me to where I'm at today. But it still affects me just the same as it did on that night. I'm just able to manage how I feel a lot better now. But if I were able to just get that notification, that helps with a piece of that journey.
So when we're going through the lineup and I'm flipping pages, I'm thinking he's not here and he's not in this. I hit the last page and it hit me like so hard. I just was like, there he is. Like, I don't remember if I asked where he was or if I was concerned that he was here and I was told that he's been deported. Now he has a warrant, so if he does come back, he can potentially be arrested. And it gave me a name of who he is. I'm glad that they did the testing because I'm here today. That's a part of my story. And that's happened to me, and I can't really get past it unless I talk about it.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.